All right, and welcome back to Moon's Remorse. We were off last weekend because Father's Day, but we're back right where we left off. But a quick lead up to where we're at. Ithel, you've just come over the ridge and descended down towards the pond that sets against the surface or the cliff face. There's a cave that appears to be kind of blocked by wooden barricades, and there does seem to be light from inside. The two gentlemen that have been with you will stroll alongside of you. If you want to take the lead, you can, or if you would prefer, Lance is also keen on taking the lead if needed. Your call.
Yeah. So Morris doesn't want to take the lead. It's the one that's Lance.
Morris is a bit of a outside shooter. You can tell by the big heavy crossbow he carries on him.
Sure. Let Lance take the lead. That's fine.
Okay. Lance takes the lead and kind of moves over. His green eyes kind of, blinking in the torchlight as Morris holds a torch to the back. And Lance kind of steps up to the barricade, places his eyes against it to look inside. John, you see a pair of green eyes appear in the shadows just outside of your candlelight in the barricade frame. You don't have the clearest of shots, but if you want to take a shot, you can.
Yeah, I'm going to set myself, get a nice little shooter stance, and just let one fly.
Okay, so you would have advantage because you're attacking a target who isn't aware of you, but you'd have disadvantage because you're firing into dim light, and that kind of evens itself out. But just go ahead and take a normal shot. Okay, so the arrow hits the barricade on the wood, and you see the eyes kind of retreat back into the shadows, and you can see a bit of torchlight from behind. Lance has his shield on, and he's had his hand on his sword. He hasn't bared the naked steel of his blade, but you hear the sound of a sword being drawn on the other side, Jun, and then a human voice yell, "Lady Elf, please, defend yourself. There's someone shooting at us from inside."
Would Ithel recognize the arrow? Oh, I know it's a long shot.
It's on the other side of the barricade. So
Oh, it's on the other side, yeah.
It's like a narrow space, and it hit like right near where the narrow space is.
Right.
I kick whoever's closest to me.
You're on watch by yourself over where you stated, so no one's near you. They're over there on the other side. And this is
I thought they had taken up the sleeping quarter things up here near me on the map.
No, they slept near the fire.
Ithel would say, we mean no harm.
You hear Ithel's voice yell in, "We mean no harm."
Do I recognize her?
You recognize Ithel's voice.
Oh, hey guys.
You hear John yell back, "Oh, hey, guys." And Lance kind of looks confused to Ithel.
Ithel says, go ahead.
You can see Morris has kind of moved like a cat along the side of the shore, like looking down the length of his heavy crossbow. And he stops at one point during this whole exchange, and as you kind of like say, "Oh," and start to sound like you're, the person on the inside, he kind of loosens and kind of lowers his thing. But based on what you've seen, he probably had a shot.
Yeah, so Ithel would look to the others and say, kind of with a sigh, "Yeah, I know him," and would turn to the eye hole and say, "Let us in, June."
I take out her eye. I go down and work the knot and let her in.
Okay.
And tell them to keep eye behind them for the black cat things.
Okay.
Whether or not they've seen them on the way in.
Black cat things. Ooh.
Morris, two gentlemen enter in with Ithel. One's a blonde-haired man, his hair kind of spiky and kind of up in military kind of do. He wears a long coat with just light steel armor underneath and a very large and ornate-looking crossbow. And when he kind of enters in, he says, "Displacer beasts. Yeah, we saw signs of them out on the fields. I didn't mention them to you because I didn't think they were too close. It seems they'd had their fill of prey this way. Did you see anyone get attacked by them?"
They took out a couple of the cultists in here.
He nods his head and kind of walks into the place, but he doesn't go too deeply into it, just within the entryway. The other gentleman kind of sheaths his sword and kind of starts putting his shield onto his back. He looks like he's wearing knightly attire. And you actually think you recognize him, Jun, from the court scene. He was one of the guardsmen that was standing near the Lord when he was presiding over your case. The gentleman walks over to you and kind of bows lightly, and he says, "You are Jun. My name is Lance. Lance Pertwee. We've been sent here with the Lady Elf by the Lord to make sure that the assassin of the assassin is caught, dead or alive."
Okay.
Okay.
So you guys have been traveling. Feel free to get some sleep. I'm gonna finish my watch, and then Elf, you want to take over since you don't really sleep?
Well, Ithel would turn to June and say, "Well, why don't I stand with you for a while, so you can tell me what's going on, and then I'd be happy to take the watch."
Sure. I'm up top. The other two of you, and feel free to head over to the fire, keep warm, and get some rest.
And then is there kind of a nutshell summary that June could give Ithel about what's happened in her absence?
So yeah, we pop in. Place full of cultists. We get up and a fight. Typical. It goes kind of poorly, but then we turn it around. Typical. Displaced beasts come from outside, rip a couple of people to shreds. We've gone deeper into this place by one room. We got to do some swimming to get there. Cleared out some more cultists, and we need to go deeper. There's still a lot more going on.
And would you tell Ithel about Stompwell as well?
Yeah, we picked up. You can see him by the fire. We picked up Cypress the Druid somewhere along the way. He's helped us out in here.
Cypress. Okay, cool.
Just stay clear of his teeth, and you'll be fine.
Okay. What is it? Human or
Oh no.
Killer Croc.
He's a
Killer
lizard.
Croc?
He's a lizard.
Oh, okay. A lizard druid. That's pretty cool.
Pertwee kind of enters in, like not really thinking about the mechanics of random strangers walking in while people are sleeping. But Morris kind of looks over to Jun and says, "Perhaps you'll want to introduce us."
They're sleeping. I don't think they care.
Yeah, but if they wake up and there's a bunch of strangers sleeping there with them, they might be confused.
Then
And
don't sleep with them. I'm not going to wake them up. It's not their turn. That's rude.
he shakes his head. All right. And he kind of moves over to a place on the opposite side of the barricade where they're not going to be able to see. But Pertwee kind of moves in, and if anybody's slightly awake, again, this wasn't too long after the first watch would have started, you see a knight of this house kind of enter in and move towards a comfortable place to...
I mean, most of them can read. You'll probably be fine.
Fair enough. Okay. If nobody has any...
I'll refix the door and then head back up to the perch.
Okay. Ithel, you're kind of left with just a candle, and Jun will basically stay kind of sleeping in those sleep beds that are just on the side of that bridge, kind of keeping an eye on the door, and he'll go to sleep right there with nearby you. Again, Pertwee and Morris went into the main area, and
I'll be finishing the watch I had already started,
okay.
just for the sake of it,
And
so
talk-
she can get her more details and everything as we go.
Okay. And everybody kind of sleeps pretty well. I'd like everybody who is not Jun or Ithel to just go ahead and roll a d20. Cypress.
I had a 7.
Oh, okay, I didn't see it. Cool. So, Isaac, you wake up first. Not too far from the fire, kind of like on the other side of the bed from where you guys are at. Kind of like on an elevated position is a guy sleeping. He has a set of armor set next to him in a pile. And he kind of looks like an older, venerable soldier type. Yeah.
So we had that was after a full night's rest, right?
Correct.
Alright, sweet. Does his armor or shield have any like markings or anything that I might recognize, or
Yeah.
it's pretty run of the mill?
I'll go ahead and give you advantage on it. Go ahead and roll a history check.
What resets after full night, like hit point wise? Do we
All
get
of
anything
it.
back?
If you had hit dice spent, though, you only regain half of the hit dice you have total. So as third level characters, you would gain 1 back. You recognize that it's a member of House House Vastal's guard, but you're not sure as to what level he would be or what station. You just know that he's a part of House Vastal. You don't have to spend hit dice, Jeremy. You don't have to spend them. You just regain them. All your hit points are reset to full.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's a noble, or a part of from a noble family, so I'm gonna trust that he's not ill intentions, considering he could have cut us down in our sleep if he wanted to. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'll just leave him.
So in addition to looking outward, Ithel would want to pay attention at first light to sort of any stirrings inside so that she could do what Jeune hasn't done and make sure everyone is introduced.
Sure. This will kind of give you an idea of where you're at. I just moved your thing into the actual mine type thing. There's kind of a river that goes down to a larger pond. In that larger pond, there's a cave that kind of goes down on the south wall into like a small rushing underground waterway. Around the barrier there to your southwest, where you can kind of see Morris, around that way is where all the others are sleeping. So the watch out where John was taking his watch is basically right where you guys are currently at. So
I would have told him while we were, or right before I went to sleep, about the Isaac trap that we planted,
right.
so he doesn't wander into it.
Yeah, I don't.
What?
There's a bear trap set inside of the water. Don't
I've never
get
seen a
close
bear in it.
to the an Isaac trap, pretty close to the water. Don't get too close.
Fair.
Okay.
Quick note: there was a trap that was set on hand rungs to kind of pull yourself out of the water. Isaac was the first one to go up. He put his hand in the rung. It snapped a steel jawed trap on his hand.
Can I see the where people are sleeping from my perch?
No.
Okay.
You'd have
Can
to
I
go
see
down
us-
and around.
Well, I have the Misty Dagger. I'm wondering if I could just sort of
Probably don't want to
go
waste
to
it
a
on that.
spot.
You could just walk around. Like there's no combat or anything crazy like that.
Is that one use per day, or how does that
3
work?
charges.
Okay. Fine. I'll walk down and around and do what I need to do.
Yep. You would see that Isaac is waking up. Ithel is now in the camp, Isaac. In addition to the guy that's sleeping over there. She comes around.
And
Lady-
explains what's happening. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Lady Ithel, surprised to see you here. How did you manage to find us?
Well met, Isaac. I had two guides, these two fellows here who were stirring from their sleep, who led me this way.
Are you here merely to assist us, or if some? What are your intentions?
Your path and mine seem to follow the same. We have things to do. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the problem that we're solving, but we're on the same path.
Good to hear it. Your blessings will be most welcome. And then I will take out a cast iron skillet and some cured meats and start making some food for the camp over the fire.
Ooh, could you put mushrooms in that?
See what I have in my bag of rations.
The blonde-haired gentleman's up and at him, and he kind of comes over to you and sits next to you by the fire. Not too close, not weird, not super personal or awkward, but he comes over and sits near you, Isaac, and reaches into his pack and pulls out a cube of kind of a whitish off-color material, kind of tosses it over to you. Break it up and put it in the meat. It'll make it better.
This is just like salt or something.
Yeah, it appears to be salt, a salt block with like pepper
Bouillon.
in it. Yeah, kind of a bouillon, yeah.
I'll nod. You can just get cooking.
All right. The next person to wake up would be Cypress, based off of the smell. You see a stranger you don't know and Isaac sitting near the fire, kind of cooking together.
The smell of the food or the smell of cypress?
The smell of the food wakes Cypress.
I don't stink. He's a good guy. Cypress kind of wakes up stretching. He was sleeping sort of on the shore of the river here. He looks around. He sees a few new faces, but everybody seems pretty calm at the moment. So he just sort of wanders up towards the fire and nods in hello to the newcomers. Handful of new humans, it looks like.
The blonde-haired gentleman kind of gives you a nod and continues just sitting there with Isaac. Ithel, you would also notice at this point that a fellow that you had met before, Borin Doompick, who was one of the adventurers who you almost hired to join you in dealing with the cultists in the first place. You see that he's currently in the camp as well, but he has a huge like patch of gauze and like binding over his left eye.
She thinks to herself, well, he seems to have made out better than the last person who helped me. Sadly, and cries.
All right. The next up is, of course, Joe Orbick's character, Astinos. I'm bad at the names. And you wake up and see, again, two other individuals. One that actually you recognize. The individual with blonde hair and the huge heavy crossbow is Captain Morris Bloomington, who is actually a member of the Parnac military. Last you heard, he kind of retired to a city watch position in Squallow. But he's kind of pretty well known for his accuracy and skill with his crossbow. Okay. And last but not least, this Lance fellow kind of wakes up and starts putting on his armor, looking over at you guys. He just looks kind of rugged and tired. He's just not too chipper or talkative.
Ithel would want to talk to Isaac and ask about these cultists and if they're connected at all to the cultists that they've faced in the past, either together or separately.
I believe they are. It seems that these cultists are in league with the Fellhood Bandit Guild, and they've been doing some unsavory experiments, as well as growing these illegal mushrooms. So they also seem to have some in league with this assassin of assassins. It seems the plot is getting thicker the deeper we delve into this cave, but they all seem to be connected in some way. And we heard, oh man, I can't remember what the name was, but that silly bitch who we thought was dead, but JK, she wasn't dead. She said a name like of her leader or something. I can't remember, some cool edge guy name.
Sweet.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, she looked dead.
Yeah, but then apparently she wasn't dead. So yeah, there's some more at play here.
Does this have anything to do with the guiding star that we saw?
I don't know, but it wouldn't surprise me considering what's happened so far. But there is down the riverway, it opens up and there's a path deeper into the cave where we have a hunch there is more Fellhood's cultists and hopefully their leader who we can bring to justice and hopefully find this assassin.
And the alternate exit.
Perhaps with our increased strength we can tackle that now.
I'll tell you, I saw a lot of movement last night when we were coming in. I'd mentioned it to Lady Ithel further down the ridge. That would be, I'm sorry, he would have said, Morris mentioned it. He said they were further down the ridge, and Morris kind of gives a gruff nod. This would be Lance Pertwee that's talking.
Mm-hmm. Were they cultists?
Couldn't say.
Okay. In which direction were they traveling?
They were south. We just saw a little. He just saw a little bit of movement. He kind of gives another gruff nod.
So they weren't coming this way?
Not that I could tell, lady. Not that I could tell.
Ithel would turn to Isaac and say, I think our course is inside the cave.
Well, for sure. We merely were regrouping and regathering our strength. Our course is to go as deep into the cave as possible and bring these people, these assassins and the like, to justice. They've committed too many crimes already.
Ithel, make a medicine check for me, just out of the side there.
Sure.
You can
13?
You can tell that Boren is still breathing, but it's very labored, and it looks like he's sweating a lot.
You said Boren?
Boren, the dwarf, yeah.
Boring.
Boring. So if he's hurt, I could certainly help.
Okay. You wander over to him and try and inspect what's going on, and with closer inspection, you start to realize that the gauze that's holding closed his eyes, the padding is basically soaked solid where the eye should be with blood, and it looks like his skin is kind of pallid. You think that he might be there might be an infection.
I'd be happy to cast
Cauterize.
cauterize it.
The face.
At this stage, you would understand that he has a disease.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's called filth fever. Typically.
Would I know whether or not one of my healing spells would cure the disease?
Less restoration is a spell that could possibly do it. Yeah.
I do not have that. I don't think.
The paladin probably does.
Matter of fact, I do have lesser restoration.
Yeah, and you haven't prepared your spells for the morning, so if you'd want to, you could do that.
Okay. Let's do that.
Okay. She spends some time kind of casting the spell, also pulling the wrapping off of him and kind of redressing his wound with what's available. And he kind of looks up at you with his eye and goes, who are you? What are you doing, lady?
I am here to help you, especially Sir Isaac, with your task.
Okay. And he kind of just and lays back down, spittle coming up. Once Pertwee's kind of fully adorned himself, he looks to Isaac and he said, "You said further into the cave." He looks to the water. Is there any other means of entry, or?
There is a back entrance. You circumvent around to the south side, but it'll take more time. We can simply, the water isn't deep, and we've disarmed the traps. They said we can simply wade through the shallows to the deeper part of the cave. It's not much effort.
Well, I yield to you, Paladin, but just would prefer not to get wet, is all. He shrugs, but I guess it's fine.
Just hike your boots up. You won't get to it. It'll be fine.
You're gonna be neck deep when we use the overhead ladder thing to get to the next place. It's deep. You're getting wet, son. Let's roll.
Everything will be great.
He kind of shakes his head. All right, I suppose if it's the only way.
Just follow the lizard.
I'll start wading into the water.
Okay. You would note that Boren's in no he's in no condition to continue.
We didn't heal him?
Even with the repairing of the disease, like, he does seem to kind of just be out of it. There seems to be levels of exhaustion that have been applied.
Arrows are
Okay.
cheaper than spells.
We could place him on that filthy bed
Partway
and
looks
let him sleep it off.
to the cleric and says, "You're not planning on staying with him. You're planning on going with him, aren't you?"
And who is the him? I'm sorry.
He looks to you as you kind of finish carrying over Boren, and he says, "You're not planning on staying with him. You're planning on going with the paladin, aren't you?"
That's right.
I know a little bit about field dressing. I know a little bit about combat medicine. I'll stay with him. I don't think my armor would do too well in that water.
Bummer.
Morris kind of gets up, has his crossbow, which you can tell is on a sling, kind of starts moving towards the lizard folk to follow along.
Yeah, Cypress takes a wide berth around the trap. I assume we're just going to leave it here, as this is our sort of base of operations. Would Isaac want this again?
No, we'll leave it as a first line of defense for Pertry and Warren, just in case any more fellhoods decide to try to come in the front. They'll have at least a warning or a first line of defense.
Okay.
Cypress just nods and walks into the water.
As last time, Cypress, you don't require any checks, but the lot of you, besides, you will need athletics checks to get through. The water isn't terribly treacherous to start, but it does get to a point where it does start to pick up. Yeah.
Going with the stream last time, acrobatics was also an option.
Correct.
$14.
14.
Yeah.
7.
Okay.
Bye, Ethel.
Ithel does slip quite a bit, but as she's doing so, you feel a hand kind of grab a hold of your shoulder every time you kind of slip off and kind of lift you back up over the water. When you look back, you see that it's Morris kind of holding you up to push you along.
Thank you.
All right, you come to that same location that you were in before, and the same little ladder is present. The top rung obviously missing.
How long has it been since we were in this area?
About 9 hours, 8 hours.
And
I'm
sorry, there's a dead cultist in the distance, is that right?
There's a handful.
Those ones went
No.
downstream. Sorry.
They threw them in the
Oh,
water
right.
to blight the river.
Okay.
I forgot about them. I'll climb up and make sure everybody else is able to climb out of the water.
Okay. You all pull yourself up out of the water. You would realize that there has definitely been, the signs of combat that you had before. Splatters of blood here, there, a couple of marks on the stone from where people missed. But for the most part, the bodies are all gone. They've all been thrown away, and doesn't look like anyone's present.
Could Cypress have a look in the areas where they saw the mushrooms growing before and make sure his work before was thorough enough that they're not regrowing?
Yeah, they're definitely more black now and kind of wilted and just desolate, like not growing.
Okay. He's satisfied.
Where are we going?
Oh, it was
I believe due east on this map we had an exit.
Correct.
And then the southeast we have a second tunnel, and then something else another way.
Due west, you had an exit. Due southwest, you had an exit, and that's where someone you think came from.
That's what I meant.
like, which one was the way to go deeper? Because there's one that goes outside and there's one that
Southwest.
goes deeper in. Okay. So yeah.
That's where you're headed.
I think so.
Cypress, make a perception check.
$25.
Let's see. You find footprints on the ground. Looks like a lot of footprints on the ground, heading up out of the path that you guys are about to go down, and heading towards the exit.
I make sure to point these out to Isaac and June, as they seem the most familiar to me and the nearest by. Make sure they're aware of what direction they're heading in and what they would like to do about it.
I'm gonna head back to that other door, then the exit, and see if we can bar it.
Okay. You go over to it, and when you get to that point, you find that it's actually been caved in.
Well, that was easy.
Good work.
I'm great at this.
And then what direction were the footprints going? The way we're going?
No. They were
Opposite.
They're coming out.
leaving.
Oh, they're coming out.
They've left the cave.
They left that part of the cave.
Oh, well, we should see if
Well, the door over here just goes outside. It's the alternate exit.
we should see if they were trying to keep us in, or if they were trying to escape and then get rid of their and cover their behind. And if they did escape, we should see if they left anything behind.
Yeah, well, it's caved this end, so we're not going this way. So it's either deeper in or back to the front, circle around.
I don't know. I'm keen to go in.
Can we see anything down the waterway, or does it go further underground?
It goes further underground, and it's a lot faster. Seem to be picking up speed, and you think that there's another one of the cavities or small veins that are going and connecting with it with more water.
Also corpses.
Oh, they're long gone.
Caught up on a rock or something somewhere.
Eventually, corpses.
Something like that.
Alright, someone take point. Heading down.
You know it.
All right, so you guys are staying inside.
Yep,
I think
sounds like it.
Shields
We're
up. I'm following
traveling
the build.
deeper in. I'm back at the bus.
Stop moving.
No, I'm
Alright.
moving. Freaked out.
Oh my God! Stop moving.
What is the name of the NPC following us? I'm sorry.
Morris.
Lance?
This one's Morris.
Morris. Okay, thank you.
All right. The pathway leads on for a while, maybe about 100 or so feet. But then it opens up into a larger chamber with the side walls being covered with stone from above. Looks like there was some sort of blast or something that's kind of happened here to open this place up a bit more. Up ahead, too, you see barricades, which look like they're little more than just logs that have been kind of stacked on each other. And on the ground near where they're located, it does look like there's a bit of ash or something kind of set on the stone. The footprints seem to be coming from this location, as mentioned, and it does look like they came through the log barricade up ahead.
Does the makeshift barricade look like it's had any action? Any?
No.
Just looks pretty clean.
Yeah. Okay.
Peer down the hallway.
Yeah, you look down the way. It looks like there's a fork in the road up ahead. Looks like there's a small passage to the right and a larger passage to the south. You can hear the sound of rushing water coming from the, in your current position, the left pathway, so the larger path. It sounds like there's rushing water coming from there.
I'll tell the group we got the the path branches to the left, and then it looks like it's larger going straight.
Lead away.
All right. I'll check out the left first.
Okay. You head down that way, come around the corner. Inside, you see several barrels. It looks like a number of boxes that have been broken open. A bit more of the stone fallen from the ceiling. And it looks like a couple of blocks or just stacks of lumber. This chamber seems a bit quieter than the hallway, but it looks like some sort of storage room. The barrels look like they have been, the spigots have been fitted with these strange looking pipes, these odd looking pipes. Do me a favor and make a perception check.
Okay. 22.
Just as you're about to step on a trip line near where one of the barrels is, you kind of stop yourself and look down and see it. A small fishnet line or a fishing pole line that stretches out from the barrel you're standing next to the box just south across from it. It looks like the spigots or the things on the spigots have been connected to the the trip line. If it were to be pulled, it would cause some kind of something to happen to those spigots.
I'm gonna take a step back and then cut the line with a blade.
You're cutting the line? With
Yeah,
the
I'm
blade?
gonna
Okay.
let the set the trap off.
Okay. So the second you do, everybody who is currently positioned where you are, which I think will include Morris, make a dexterity saving throw.
Darn. I was hoping it'd be like a log trap or something.
4.
19.
8.
It's a solid 7.
I think I'm the only one that got out of this.
How'd Morris do?
Oh, that's really bad. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Wow. Wow, that's really bad.
Are they dead? Did I win?
I'm trying to
You
do.
win.
I'm trying to do.
Jerk.
I'm trying to do some math here.
This could be a minute.
Isaac Cypress. Isaac Cypress. You would take half, right, Jeremy?
I don't know what it is, but I got a 19, so...
Yeah. So
I'm-
if you failed, which the DC was 12, then you are taking 46 points of damage.
Holy fuck.
46? 46?
46.
Sided dice or 46, the number?
4-6.
Ouch.
It was 10d10.
Jesus.
If
And
you,
what is the amount that over which you die?
it needs to be negative your hit point total.
Oh, okay.
Are you dead?
I am 2 away from being dead. No, I'm not.
Okay.
Wow.
Almost dead.
All right. If you succeed,
10d10.
you're taking 23 points of damage.
I'm down.
Survived.
What happens? What you see happen, John, and you kind of go, "Oh fuck! What are you?" Just as it's happening, he cuts the line. The spigots all kind of hit with a spark, and you see that the thing inside of them is a stick, and you kind of think about it, and it's some sort of explosive, and whatever's inside of the barrels is obviously some kind of explosive. It detonates. The entire room fills with flame, and it basically just cyclones right out the door, catching all of you guys in its just inferno. So you watch after the fire drops, and the only two people who are standing are you and Morris. We're going to go to initiative, just me and you.
I think I'm going to stop working on my character now. I was like, putting spells in. Nope.
Oh. Okay. Did you roll initiative?
I did. I don't know if I was selected or if it didn't, or if I just got it before you got the box up, but I'm on an 18.
You're first. What are you doing on the very first round of initiative?
I think I'm going to move farther in.
Everybody besides you is currently dying.
Yeah, except that other guy, but I can't do jack about it. I'm going to check Ithel, I guess, actually, since I'm standing here for healing potions.
You are going to check her for healing potions. Ithel, do
Yeah,
you have
here's her bag.
Do you have any healing potions on you?
Hold on.
Oh yeah, he's got a healing potion on him. There it is. You have it.
No, don't
I
do
don't
that.
know. I
Don't
don't
you
know if
cheat.
I have a healing potion.
It's no fun if you cheat. I mean, you might as well just tell Steve to take that Dark Souls helmet and just throw it in a trash can, because he's a weak-ass kid if you're making up potions. He doesn't have one. And you'll spend your action searching for one.
Yeah. After I've searched her,
What?
I'll move over toward the paladin.
Talking shit, dude?
No, I'm saying like if you were gonna make up stuff and try and Babytown Frolics this game, you'd be just shitting on the honor of Dark Souls or something. I don't know. This is man game. Morris, knowing that Ithil is a cleric and also the only person he knows and cares about at this juncture, he's going to attempt a medicine check to stabilize her. And he does so. So, Ithil, you do not need to make death saving throws.
Okay.
As he uses his turn to staunch the bleeding. And he looks over to you and he says, "Stop fucking around! Stop him from bleeding!"
Oh, it's getting real.
Are we bleeding? I feel like we'd more be like 3rd-degree burns. We're just like roasting.
I need everyone who's not Ithil or Jun to make a death saving throw.
Oh.
Failure.
4.
1. Failure. 1.
No.
Success. Alright. Jun, you're up.
Guess I'll attempt medicine on the Palladian.
Okay.
13.
Success. You kind of spend some time, you pull your scarf off, kind of wrap it around. It looks like there's a large...
Whoa.
No,
No,
no way,
I
it's a scarf. You take his jacket and kind of like pull it away and start kind of staunching. It looks like a large piece of wood entered into his shoulder, and like his face is currently burned to heck. I'm gonna say for your character, Isaac, since you were basically taking the brunt of the flames, you currently have like a lot of burning on you, and since you're probably not going to receive magical healing in an hour's time, some of those will be permanent.
Also, you're never getting that armor off.
Scars, baby.
That is welded on.
Darth.
Morris looks at you and he says, "Good job." And he kind of moves over to the next person available to him, and he's going to make a medicine check.
I want to put down his healing thing. It's Commander Morris. He's got one of those.
He just puts the diet heal aid thing down, and he pulls out his... Yeah, no, he's not... Come on now. He starts trying...
I see you.
I see you. He kind of starts moving over to help.
This is an ICU now.
He fails. He actually fails, and he's like, "Oh, oh," and he's kind of like doing everything and he can. He's like pounding on Astanos' chest. He's like, "Don't you die on me, soldier!" And everybody who is not the paladin or the cleric make a death saving throw.
19.
2 successes for Joe, 1 success for you, Zach. Alright, goes back up to the top. Jun, the lizard is definitely strange anatomy, so definitely strange physiology. He is bleeding. I will let you make your check, though.
5.
He is getting worse. It doesn't look like you're making it worse, but you just don't have any idea how you're going to make it better.
I yell at the other guy. I'm not an animal doctor. I'm not a vet.
He looks at you and he's like, "I
Hell,
spend
man.
most of my life killing lizard folk, not healing them."
Yeah.
He's harsh. He kind of gets back down over Astanos and tries to help and succeeds. So you're stable, Joe. And then he'll move over to the lizard folk. Death saving throw again from you, sir.
10.
Success. Jun, go ahead and make a medicine check. If you're going to attempt it.
Who do we have left that needs it?
Well, it's the Cypress.
Just Cypress.
Yeah, he needs
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yep. You can do one of two things. Oh, okay, you can do that. You stabilize him.
19.
Yep.
I got it. I figured it out. The blood goes on the inside.
Nice.
Once he's kind of standing over you and you kind of like heal him down, he kind of just drops onto his back like, and looks over at you and he's like, "Oh." As everybody around you is just laying there kind of like just barely alive.
I really want to be the bad guy. But I'm not gonna.
Kill all of them, take all their rocks.
Somebody rocks. Get a new team of superheroes. Beat them out here with magic dragon rocks.
I think Morris has more hit points than you, but
Probably.
he wouldn't see it coming. You might be able to kill him in one shot.
I've got 3.
He says, "It's not safe here. We gotta move back to the opening."
No shit.
He
Can you carry 4 people? Because I can't.
can you carry one?
Probably not.
Let's just stay here then. He just remains seated, waiting.
How does he look to me? I
He's-
mean, like, he's jacked up,
He's
but
bleeding. Yeah, he's not like as jacked up as Isaac.
are you strong enough to make the swim?
No.
Oh shit. We need to get word back to the other guy. He said he knew field medicine.
Yeah, well, he's dealing with that dwarf you had, so it's not gonna matter. He can't help everyone.
Let's drag everybody in here and
Into the place where it just exploded?
yeah.
Might as well just stay
If it
seated
explode
right here.
Twice,
Oh, we might
let's
as
get
well.
him some cover back out of the way while somebody else comes back in here. We're still in here.
Fair. And he helps you drag them into the ruin and wreckage.
We're gonna short rest right here.
No, you're not. Make a Constitution saving throw.
17.
Yeah, you start to realize the folly of moving into a place that's still filled with smoke and blackened charcoal. Sleeping inside of a grill is not the best choice. And this place is still smoldering and still smoking. Make a perception check with disadvantage.
16.
With disadvantage.
9.
Oh, sorry, 9. 9.
Okay. You kind of, move them in, realize a bit of your folly, and think that this is probably not the best idea. Morris kind of starts coughing, and he kind of squats down onto his knees and starts spitting up a bit of blood. He says, "No, this is bad. This is not good." And he starts pulling the lizard back out to the main passageway.
I'm gonna grab Ithel and pull her out.
Okay. You eventually get everybody out, and when you finally do, you see that sitting up on the logs, looking down at you, is Ian.
I just stare at him.
You're making a lot of noise.
Well, paladins. What can you do?
Not travel with him?
I mean, there's that. What would you recommend? Who should I travel with?
I don't think you should be alive.
But I want to be alive.
Don't we all?
Probably, but maybe not.
I guess that's fair. Morris kind of looks at him and then looks at you. Like he's kind of looking at you for some kind of like sign or signal. Do you try and kind of like convey anything to him?
I'm just kind of stare down Ian. I guess
Okay.
I'll just like lightly tap on my crossbow.
Okay. You see Morris kind of reach down for his, and he goes, Mm-mm. No. Not a good idea. And he looks at you and he says, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how good he is. We should let him try.
No. He looks to you and he says, right? And you say to him, we should let him try?
Yeah, to Ian.
Oh, okay. He
What
says,
if he's really good?
he smiles and he looks over to him and he says, give it a go. And I'll, for fluff's sake, I'll go ahead and let you roll a 20-sided dice to determine Morris's initiative. Oh, wow. Yeah, really good. Okay. So Morris will take the first shot, and I'm sure you're going to jump into the fray shortly after he does so. But because you're
Naturally.
because you're waiting for him, you'll kind of go after these two cool kids. Let's see how he does. Oh shit! He shoots a single crossbow, like just quickly, just snapshots it into him, like shoots from the hip. Hits Ian square in the chest, like square in the chest, and it looks like it actually pops out of the back of him for a second. The second it does, Ian's face changes into the weird alien face that you saw across the river, and he kind of like then snaps it back into place with a look of like surprise, and with his initiative, he jumps over the logs and just starts running away.
Man, that was pretty good. I didn't. Did you think he would do it? I'm yelling at him as he's running. I didn't think he could do it, but he did it.
Fuck you! And then you see Morris kind of get up, kind of like look down the way, fires another shot.
Does he have him in his sights?
I have him in my sights. He misses with that shot though.
He's supposed to have aimbot.
Damn. Looks like your friend escaped. Looks like it was a doppelganger.
Yeah, definitely not my friend. I don't know what that thing is, but it's not Ian.
Is he the assassin?
That is our assassin, though. You almost did your job.
We can track him. He's bleeding.
So are we, remember?
Oh, yeah, I know. How about
well-
you try and keep an eye on them, do what you can, and he loads
You
a
good?
crossbow bolt. If anything comes down that way, I'm going to shoot it. Unless it's Pertwee or that dwarf.
You can shoot that dwarf, it honestly wouldn't matter.
It's nothing to say about a guy who you fight alongside. It's a really shitty attitude, actually.
All he's done is get shot in the eye.
1 hour later. Everybody who's not...
Did we short rest during this?
No,
Because
no,
if
no,
we
no.
have the time, I'm still gonna hit dice.
No. So, yeah, you'll be able to short rest. Sorry, you'll be able to short rest.
Okay.
Those kids are not short resting. They're currently getting back from dying. So, everybody gains 1 hit point that isn't Jun. And then everybody roll a d20. That's not Jun.
You're 15.
Solid
I got a
3.
3.
Naturally-
I got a 3.
Naturally, the strongest of the lot, the one who's been hurt the most in his life, Astanos wakes up first. You basically, like, have that kind of PTSD kind of flashback of, like, we just exploded. There's a momentary kind of, like, darkness, and then you kind of are brought back to light. And you can see that Jun's standing not too far from you guys, and you're laying kind of next to the other groups.
I'm doing toe touches. Stretches.
Panic pop up. Like,
I'm sorry. Did we revert back to 1 hit point, or did we just gain 1?
You gained 1 hit point.
Heal from
Okay.
0, right?
So,
Just 1 hit.
are we still in the negatives if we were in negative,
No,
or
no,
did
no,
we
no,
go
no,
to
no,
1?
no, no. There is no negatives in 5th edition. If you
Oh,
take
forgive
damage and hit to 0, you are at 0. The only way negatives matter
Okay.
is if you take enough damage in the negative, that would put you at your maximum hit point total, like Ithel almost did. She would have been dead outright.
Yep.
I came close as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was neat.
But yeah, Ithel, or I'm sorry, Astanos, you wake up. Jun, you see him kind of spazzing out there on the ground.
I just watched him spaz. This is great.
we're not dead.
Morris,
So close.
Morris is kind of standing over by the logs with his crossbow, and he kind of looks back at you, and he's like, "Are you all right, soldier?"
Yeah, I'll be alright.
We're all soldiers
How
now.
long were we out for?
It's been about an hour.
So it's probably safe to say there's no cultists around. If they didn't come check out the explosion.
Oh no, one did.
Did you get him?
Crack shot Morris over here, put one in his chest.
He got away, but I think I can track him.
Sounds like a good plan. I'm ready.
He could also be trying to lead us out of here without investigating. He might be hiding something. Your call, though. Next up is Cypress. You kind of feel just a little bit of, like, liquid in your mouth. Your entire body feels dry. You just feel like completely dried out. And your mouth is just parched when you kind of come to.
I ask the others if we have any water to spare. The
It's an
only
entire
word
river.
that I can croak out is water.
Hell,
Was-
like
was-
Keller over here.
Yeah. Water's-
Yeah, you guys note that your water skins are kind of burnt, but it seems like they've kind of, they're fine. They're just slightly sooty.
Oh,
And,
okay, I'm fine then.
Yeah, you can pour
I'll
water.
just
in
I'll
there.
chug one.
Okay. And the other two wake up shortly thereafter. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just gonna be staring at Isaac as he wakes up.
Ithel would immediately cast Prayer of Healing. May I do that?
Yeah, it takes a little while to cast it, but yeah.
Come on.
Just roll 2d8.
Everybody gets back 12.
Appreciate it.
Your wisdom is +4, right? But you're a life cleric, so shouldn't you be adding 2 more?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's actually 14, guys. And that tops Morris off. He kind of looks at you guys. Oh. Yeah, whatever you want to do. We can go in deeper, or we can track this guy.
Yeah, let's go.
If we're gonna track him, I mean that's the assassin. We've already been here over an hour. He's just getting farther away.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna keep toes with him, but if he stops, we'll find him.
We know where the place is. We can always come back. There's only one entrance that we know of now.
Oh. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. The only way he could get out is through.
Boring.
Morris kind of like looks at you guys and says, "Oh,
What was his name again? Crossbowman? Morris.
Morris."
Unless there's another way out, maybe he'll lead us to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna focus on that. You guys do what you want to do. Andy, put double brackets on either side of it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Of the math. Also, you should just have the spell in your spell section and be able to cast it from there.
That's what I'm doing. It's just not happening. I'll fix it later. Don't worry.
Sure. Morris starts kind of moving out the way you guys came in, tracking. I'm going to just go left to right. Just let me know what you're doing. Andy, what's Ithel doing immediately after casting Prayer of Healing?
Sobbing. Quietly sobbing.
Steve,
I almost died.
what's Isaac doing?
He's sitting with his legs crossed, just murmuring, "Father, forgive me," like over and over and over, and he's unbinding his tome and just seeing how many pages of him seared and damaged, and just like panicking essentially, just
Surprisingly,
freaking
like
out.
the edges of the pages are all burnt, but no fire on the interior. But the metal has kind of been burnt to a point where it's kind of blackened. So it now looks like it's completely blackened and slagged on the outside.
Yeah, I'll have to get that, get re-gilded, or I'm gonna get in trouble.
Rebuffed. All right. Joe, what's Ostinos doing?
I'll aid Morris. Trying to
Okay, you head off with him with the tracking, and then Zach, what's Cypress doing?
Cypress is pouring more of his water skin just over his head, trying to
Okay, go ahead and make me a
soak
perception.
into his skin and thanking Ithel deeply.
Make me a perception check.
Perception. 6.
Okay. Yeah, there's a huge rushing water sound coming from down this passageway. But other than that, you don't hear anything.
Where are we headed?
I'm kneeling on the ground in front of the paladin, just staring at him.
Oh, to make a big score, sometimes you gotta take a hit. You know what I'm saying, John?
Oh no, I'm just trying to get used to this because I'm gonna throw up. This is gross, man. You should cover that up. That is gnarly.
Yeah, I got
Good
that.
job, Joe.
I got that
Smart.
Zuko look going now.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No, I think he nailed it on the head earlier. You got that Darth Vader going on, bro.
It's mostly just one side, but yeah. More Two-Face, I guess. Morris eventually finds a point where this guy gets out, Joe, when you're with him. And basically the cave-in area, it looks like there is kind of a secreted way. It's made to look like it's kind of blocked off, but there's kind of a crawl space off to the side. And he kind of looks to it, and you can see that there's a little bit of blood. And he looks like someone tried to cover up the tracks, but after Morris kind of points it out to you, it looks like there's no way that would have evaded his seeking. And he says to you, "Let's go back and tell your friends. It's another way out."
Coward!
You guys head back. Ithel, as you're crying, go ahead and just make me a perception check.
Sure. 20.
Yeah, as you guys are sitting there and waiting for Morris and Astanos to get back, you hear just over the rain, or over not rain, the water, the rushing water, you hear "Help! Is someone over there still? Hey!" But it's very light and faint.
So Ithel would point this out to the others and point the direction of the voice.
Seems to be down this long hallway.
I got it. No, I'll head that way.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll follow
Yep.
there.
I'll let Jun take point this time.
As you guys continue down the passageway, you'll see the waterway, and then the voice sounds like it's coming from the south passageway up ahead.
One or two of us should probably.
It's coming from like over this way.
You cut off after one or two of us, should probably.
Should stay back in case the other two come back looking for us.
Astanos.
I'll hang back.
Astanos is still back there. I'm not sure why.
No, Astanos is still with.
Astanos and Morris left. We're somebody
he
needs to
left
stay
to the
alert
north.
for them to come back.
Got it.
John, am I heading north, south, or east?
South. The voice is coming from the south. But remember, Ithel's the only one who can hear it.
She gave us direction.
She said it was coming from the south wall, so yeah, you'd head that way. And you started to hear it more clearly. It does sound like it's coming from kind of over this way. And John, you actually recognize the voice, you think?
Is it Ian?
No. Sounds like somebody from your past. Make an intelligence check to see if you can recall.
$13, 26 is advantaged.
Senojiro, one of the blades of the Shinoyoro Kengo, one that you specifically slighted in your situation in the past. You hear his voice yelling, "Help! Hey, is someone there?" And as you kind of come around the corner, it looks like there's some sort of prison in this passageway.
South or north?
North. And then you hear the voice stop. "Oh. Jun." And then he switches his talking into a different language. He starts speaking in Chinese. What are you doing down here?
Just looking. Mostly trying not to die. I point at the other guy.
He kind of looks to you guys. From the sounds of it, you almost did.
Yeah.
I guess it's better than being inside a cage.
I mean, you don't have to look like this guy.
It's fair. And luckily they never took me to the room south of here. Like they did with your friend
What's
Agama.
What happened to Agama?
I don't know, but the way he was screaming and telling them everything about the Mardigans, I'm pretty sure it was pretty bad. He smiles. Looks like our purple cloaked friends are being very active in these parts.
Oh, they're no friends of mine.
They're no friends of mine. I only did it as a colloquialism. He smiles. Just like you're no friend of mine.
Shut up. Do you want out or not?
I do want out.
Well, I don't know about it. Why are you in here?
Well, I have a small vacation home on this side of the border, and make a insight check. Sorry. When he said vacation house, he definitely meant like a house of ill repute, probably some sort of brothel. Yeah, and they probably sell illicit substances.
Mushrooms?
Well, no. Mushrooms aren't your go. The Shinryo Kengo deals more in the milk of the poppy. It's things that are smoked therein. So basically opiates and stuff. He says, and the Fellowhoods raided it, and they took me as a prisoner. They apparently knew who I was.
Who would want you as a prisoner?
Anybody who doesn't want to upset the other blades of the Kengo.
I mean, there's better options.
Oh, sure, but not many wander across the border like me.
Yeah, they're probably a little smarter.
Oh, undoubtedly so.
They probably don't end up in cages either.
Yeah, they probably don't have assholes who cross them be the ones that could help them, the only ones that could help them. I will say that my luck is absolutely abysmal.
It's a bit of a predicament, isn't it?
It's the worst kind. And by the way, Isaac, you're just sitting there listening to them basically talking in a foreign language the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's super good. And he kind of looks at your friend and he looks at you. Why are you traveling with the law?
I pull out my dagger. Haven't you heard? I am the law.
You are fucking adorable, he says in common. Oh my god. So you're gonna let me out or not?
I don't know. There's an awful lot of crimes against the state for you. Maybe we should leave you here and come back later. We can take you into
I have no crimes against this state. I have no crimes against this state. Nor do I have any crimes in my homeland. He's talking in common. Nor do I have any crimes in my homeland. I was illegally
Let's see
detained.
your papers.
I don't have papers for this country.
Oh, well, that's a crime. You say you've committed no crimes, but you're traveling in this country with no papers?
Officer, law enforcement officer, he points to Isaac. You can't let someone be detained like this. It's against the law.
In common, I'll start talking to Isaac. I know this man. He's from a rival, we'll say, group that we used to work with. He's not to be trusted. He's just admitted to us that he has no papers to be traveling in this country.
But I don't deal with demon worshippers.
I mean, that's fine. Yeah, is one crime worse than another? Probably, but it's not for me to decide. Just uphold the law. You need to be taken into custody.
That's fine. Take me into custody. Don't leave me in this one.
All right. Well, to be fair, it's not fair that I take you. I'm going to put you in the custody of this paladin.
Fine.
You'll stay close to him. And I'll go pick the lock on the cage to try to let him out. The paladin can bind him or do whatever he has to do.
The keys are sitting right there on the table.
Oh, that makes it so much easier.
Is there any, since this is a jail, are there any, like, manacles lying on the table?
Yeah, there are manacles lying on the table.
Alright, I'll manacle him out.
Alright. When you get him out and kind of set him up into the manacles, he's just giving you a really big smile and he says, "Thank you, officer."
No problem.
We'll take you back to, Squallow? Yeah, that's where we came from, right?
I have no crimes in this country.
Yeah.
I have no crimes in my home country. I'm not a criminal like this man says.
You'll take the sands and you'll plead your case, and if you speak truthfully, you'll be sent on your way.
Fair enough. You mean to tell me this guy hasn't been locked up for something stupid? And he looks over to John as he says
I
it.
totally have.
Oh, he has, and he spoke truthfully, and he was released.
When you're looking at him, by the way, just a note. Let me see here. he looks just kind of older than Jun. He has like a really goofy smile on his face. He's wearing kind of brownish robes with a similar scarf to Jun's. His hair's done up in a top knot, and he just looks casually cool with all of that's going on. When you kind of like look him over,
Such
though,
a dork.
you guys look him over. I mean, he doesn't have anything on him. He doesn't seem to be too detained. You can kind of move his long sleeves off of him to get the cloak up, and he actually helps you in doing it by taking a scarf and wrapping it around his arms and tying it onto his back so that it holds his long sleeves up in close to him so his arms are exposed, so it can be easy.
I'll ask him it. Do you have any gear down here you need to take with you?
Are you going to let me have it?
I mean, no, but we'll carry it for you. If there's something down here that is yours.
Yeah, but they took it further in. I don't know if it's still here. If they were wise,
gone, then.
they would have taken it.
Perhaps we'll find it later and it can be returned to you.
Well, it's pretty important.
What is it? I'm assuming they're talking common now.
I am.
Yeah. He says it's one of the 9 blades of the Shinra Kengo. It's one of the katanas made from the rainbow shell. It's very important that I retrieve it. And he looks to you, Jun, and he says, our problems in the past and all your problems with our organization will be square if you can help me return that blade. In fact, I'll pay you as well.
I don't know that you're in a position to do that.
The negotiation that we're making here, as you can see from the way I've stated it, is all lopsided towards you.
Out of character. Is he high enough to make that kind of call?
There are 9 blades that rule over the Shinra Kengo. Jiro is one of them. Like
Okay, so he's one of the top.
He's one of the top tier people, yeah.
Against better judgment, but
He looks
I'll escort you in. Perhaps someone else can come with us.
Fair enough. There are others?
Of course.
Well, if those screams are any kind of allusion to what's possibly down there, or what's possibly in this place, I'd say you'd bring the whole lot of them. By that time, Morris and Astinos return to where Ithel and the Cypress are located. Ithel and Cypress, if you want to have any conversation before that point, though, go ahead.
Do I have time to cast Cure Wounds?
Yeah, you got plenty of time for that.
Beautiful. So Ithel would want to get to know Cypress a little bit and how he came to work with this group.
Oh. Well, I was staking out this cave. As I understood it, the fellhoods, as you called them, have been growing these mushrooms that are doing horrible damage to the trees local to this area. Your friends, as I understand it, have been so kind as to help me get rid of these mushrooms, and as far as I could tell, I've helped them in battle. I've known them for a day, I've exploded, and nearly drowned. It's been a good one.
Ithel smiles nervously, puts her hands through her red hair, and says, "My, what big teeth you have."
Such a nerd.
Yeah.
Fighter.
Nah,
Fighter.
she seems nice.
Yeah. Okay. That about that point again, Astinos and Morris will return, and he looks to Ithel and he says, "Lady Ithel, the assassin got away, but there's a secret entrance, so I don't believe Master Pertwee is in any harm."
She would then mention that she heard Voice and the others, Isaac and Jun, went after
Okay.
to
And
the
then
south and to the west.
shortly about that time is when the others would arrive with the prisoner, and so if you guys are heading back that way, to let them know what you're doing.
We have to make a decision.
Or are you just going straight without him? Without telling them? Or are you going back to the group to let them know what you're planning on doing?
Yes. No, I'm going back to the group.
Okay.
The 3 of us.
I'll go ahead and pull you there. But they come back with a third party. It appears to be a Sei Ryujin who is just smiling despite the fact that he's in manacles.
This is Onojiro. He's in the custody of the paladin until we figure out what to do with him. He has an important relic. It means a lot in our country. We need to get it back. It's deeper in the cave, but I understand the assassin is also a priority. So
he bows curtly to the elf, and he says, "Ah, an elf. Interesting. You're quite renowned in these parts, and a lot of people sway to your favor. Is that right?"
In Elvish to her, to Ithel, trust nothing he says.
And then in Elvish, Jiro replies, "If you want to, you can."
Ithel chuckles.
But continuing in Elvish, he says, "Are you the leader of this band?"
To Ithel?
Yeah.
She would shake her head and look to Isaac and say, "We're on this path together."
And he looks back to Isaac and he says, "I guess it continues to defer to you. Please help me find this item. Please help me find my sword."
Well, we were going to purge this cave of these fell hoods and cultists. If we come across it, we will retrieve it.
He says to you, "Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you and forward with you. I'm not going to, like my compatriot here states, do anything to deceive or to avoid you." And as he says that, he pulls his hands out from behind his back and hands you back the manacles. "If I wanted to escape, I could have waited for the perfect time to do so." And he holds the manacles out to you. "I could have waited, and I could have slipped away from your guys' gaze, waiting until one person was the only person active. I tell you that I have this within my ability, not so that you can continue to watch me and be maligned towards me, but that so you would help me. I need that sword. I have done nothing wrong in this country. Jun attests to that."
He's traveled here illegally without papers. That is something wrong in this country.
Correct, but it is not something that that can be dealt with by fines. Is that right?
Oh, I don't know. You'd have to go before a lord.
Isaac, you would know that that's pretty much something that can usually be dealt with by fines.
Yeah. It's not like a serious crime.
I can have the money sent from my coffers to whatever coffers they were required in, not as a bribe, but as a show of payment for those dues. I beg you, please assist me in finding the blade."
So you'll be joining our party while we do this, or are you going to be waiting?
Gosh, I'd really hate to, since there isn't really much trust here, but I can accompany you while you deal with what's in this cave. If the blade has indeed left, as I suspect it has, then your journey will be changed slightly after your current course is completed.
Well, you said the blade was deeper. If you think it's not left, why would we go back?
I don't know where the blade is. I have been locked in a cell for 2 6-day, at least.
Ithel says, "Let's put aside our quarrels and at least we'll work together for the moment and see what comes after that."
Morris kind of sees you guys. Ostenos, you see another Saryugenist join the group. Morris says,
Man, I'm with you on this.
Morris says, I know where he went. I have an idea of where he went and how he got out. If you want to track him, we can."
The longer we wait, the more we lose them.
So it's either track the assassin or go deeper in the cave. Let's put it to a vote. There's 1, 2, 3, 5 of us, which is good, so it won't be even. So put a hand up if you want to track the assassin.
Ithel raises her hand.
I raise my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's our priority too. I'm with the. So look to whatchamacallit.
He says to you then, "If you're going to leave this place without investigating to find the blade, leave me here free. to find my way. If you have any rations to spare,
Oh no, if we're leaving you here, we're putting you back in that cage. You can have rations, but you're going to the cage.
I would die here.
We'll be back eventually. I mean, you'll probably be fine. You already made it to 6 day. Let's do more.
He looks to you, Isaac, and he says, "You have my word on my father and on his father's grave that I will return to the town that you determine to pay the fines that I am due for passing across the border illegally. So long as you allow me to go and find my blade. If it is within this place, I will. If it is not, then I will return where I stated."
I'm not of this country either. I don't. My authority doesn't mean too much.
You're a
John
magistrate.
has.
I point at your dagger.
Cypress
yeah.
is gonna reach into his
Forgot.
pack and take a couple days' rations and his quarterstaff and pass them over to Shiro.
Bro, we are local
He
cops.
takes them and kind of like puts the rations into his sleeves as he kind of loosens them up and takes the staff and kind of tests the weight for it. And he looks at you and he says, "The lizard folk are one of the great races that started the world. And I expect nothing more than grace from them." And he smiles.
Oh, shut up.
And he says to you again, Isaac, "An elf, which are of high repute in your country, in this country, and the others have deferred to you. It would seem that you are the lead law enforcement officer here. I am asking you for reprieve on my detainment, and I will return to Squalo once my blade is found." And as I have stated, I've sworn upon my ancestors that I will do this.
I will. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the best way to answer this.
Just kill him now.
Ithel and Isaac, I'm going to ask for an aside. We'll let the lizard and the burly man watch him.
All right.
Okay.
Sure.
When the three of us are in private, I listen. My past is as dark as anyone's. Well, darker than any of yours, obviously. But I've had run-ins with these people. I've worked with them. They're human traffickers. They're slave traders. These are awful people. You cannot let this man walk free.
Can I? How truthful do I feel John is being right now?
I want to hear the same thing.
It sounds like he's coming off as even, yeah.
Like compared to other times that I've spoken with him, he sounds pretty sincere.
He sounds like he's on the level, yeah.
John, we've traveled together for a while now, and I've seen you speak honestly.
4 days.
So I've started to trust your word. You know this man better than I. You know the cultures and customs from which he comes.
Yeah, I
I'll
cross
defer
them.
to you.
They're angry with me.
I'll defer to you. If you believe he's not to be trusted and that he would be, and the world would be better off with him in a cage, then I trust you. We will.
I can
We will
provide
put him
no
back where we
evidence,
found
but
him.
This man has done dark things. Maybe his hands aren't directly dirty, but he's moved some people.
And I'll look to Ithel and ask, what's Lady Ithel? What is your opinion on this?
I also sense that he is not a good person. However, I don't understand why he can't come with us if we're going to do a task that benefits him.
He refuses to do so. He wants to check the cave first to see if the blade is here. If it's not, then he's just going to run wild. Whether he goes to that town or not to pay his fines, he probably will, honestly. The money's nothing to him.
In which case, I think that we should change our decision and stay within the cave and keep an eye on him. Use his talents as we can, and that's the best we can do.
That is that, but you came here with 2 other people for the specific reason to kill that assassin that's getting farther away from us the more we talk.
Okay, so Ithel would agree with Isaac to give the benefit of the doubt to June in this, and if we need to lock him up, that's fine.
If he's not traveling with us, he should be back in that cage. We'll take the keys with us in return for him. We'll leave him water and rations to survive for up to 2 6 days.
Very well.
Sounds good.
All right. So you walk back over to him and say, "We're gonna lock you up."
And we roll initiative.
You know he's gonna fight us.
He takes his quarterstaff and he tosses it back to the lizard folk, and then he looks at you, John, and he says, "Do you really think all 6 of you can deal with a single blade of the Shiniguro Kengo?"
In common, there's no blade here, remember?
The blade is not the weapon.
Get back in your box.
I will not go back in that cage. I've been more than fair, and I've tried to be calm and collected.
As have we.
All right. As you guys are kind of basically in this position, I presume, right? He tossed the staff to Cypress, and Isaac was walking over to manacle him, and John was standing close enough to talk. He snap kicks John in the face. Take 12 points. Take 12 points of damage.
There's no way to dodge.
You have an AC, right? Is it less than 22?
I suppose.
All right.
I don't know how he's getting a surprise round.
He snap kicked you in the face. So at that point, you guys can go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh shit. And in the end, we should just went with Austin Elsa's plan and killed him right off the bat.
I'm at a 7 out of 12.
What is Isaac's dex, Steve? Plus what?
Should be, I believe it's a +2.
Okay, Ithel's is +3. So she would go first.
Yeah, I turned on the thing where it like puts the decimal. Yeah, so I think if you turned yours on too, it would put you at like higher than 0.14.
Okay.
Damn, son.
Immediately after his free surprise round, based on his feature, strike without thought, he will take a full turn, and I'm going to cunning action, disengage, action dash.
Jesus.
He runs around the corner of the cave facing there. Very quick, very light on his feet. As he's doing so, he's pulling his scarf out and letting it flow behind him, and his sleeves are becoming free. The weight of the ration's still sitting in his left one. Next up is Steve.
Nope, Ithel's actually
Oh,
next.
sorry. Go ahead.
That's alright. Ithel says, "Stop. Stop. This is not a fight worth having. I suggest we let him go. We've made the mistake of letting him out."
Okay.
That's her turn. That's her turn.
Yep, Steve.
I'm gonna move just to see if I can still see him.
Sure.
What direction did he go? North?
Can you see him? Because he moved out of your light before you actually darted, so you're not sure. You can take an action to try and see if you can see which way he went, or hear which way he went. Perceiving.
Oh, I know. I can see him in the south, just barely.
Okay.
And he's in range, so I'm gonna do the only thing I can do. I'm gonna extend a hand and yell, "Prostrate yourself!" And I'll cast command.
Okay. You're a hostile target. He doesn't do it.
I thought command is whatchamacallit.
Cast a
It's,
spell. Cast a spell. He's not going to do something that would cause him to be wounded or harmed. He already knows you guys are hostile. He's not going to do it.
If he pretty sure he has to make the saving throw.
Cast the spell. Put the spell on the board.
Whatchamacallit? It's not in. It's in the. Can I link it from the paladin spell list?
So you're just casting a spell you didn't have prepared?
No, I did. It's just whatchamacallit, the shortcut.
Okay.
I'm using the just the spell list.
Strange. So,
I only have the
you
only
pick one
ones
more
that I
command on
have.
a creature within range. The spell has no effect if the target is dead, it doesn't understand, or the command would be directly harmful to it. Him stopping at this point would be directly harmful to him because he'd be murdered and butchered by you guys.
We're not killing him. We're just apprehending.
Right. No. No. So, again, it wouldn't be directly harmful, I guess. Okay, I'll make the saving throw. What's the DC?
It would be what is it? It's 8 plus
8 plus your proficiency modifier plus your spellcasting
Charisma.
ability. Yep.
so 14.
Okay. All right, I got a 17. So,
Oh well, I tried.
all right.
I'll just yell as a free action. He went south.
Command is usually a spell that I like appropriate for or use for non-combat situations, because typically when you're in a combat, doing something that would be objectively dumb, like not doing the thing that you were doing, is directly harmful to you, in my opinion. But allowing it this time, just in the future, notate that. Astanos, you see him rush off.
It looks like Joe's on the phone.
Okay. All
Says
right.
I stay put.
It's not putting my initiatives on your board.
Do you have your token selected?
Yeah, I just moved it.
What's the initiative that you have?
11.
Okay, go ahead and take your action.
I will. Now that he's out front, I'll action to. Fuck, I don't know the word.
Aid, help.
No. Dash is the one I want.
Okay.
And I'll hold there because I can't see anything.
All right.
Bonus action aid on Paladin.
Cypress.
He's gonna stay put. He doesn't fully understand what's going on. He just knows that if one Astanos didn't want to chase him, he's gonna hang out.
All right. Jiro will move in the shadows adjacent to Jun, and he whispers, "You should have fucking let me go." And he will just go full board, Punch City on your face. He's stepping through shadows, so he'll have advantage on his attacks. Also, because you can't see him technically.
I can now.
Okay. Then, because of his step of the shadows, he'll have advantage on the attack. Hit, and crit. So, 9 plus 11 is 20, plus... Let's see. So 9, and 11, and then 20. What's your maximum hit point total?
26.
Okay.
Does all 3 damages dealt at the same time?
No, individually. So
Then
first
won't go
one,
any then.
first one will knock you down.
I'm at 0, but I'm not dead.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on. First one will knock you down 9. Next one will attack you down 11, which should knock you unconscious, correct?
Yeah.
And then he grabs your head as you're unconscious and slams it against the stone, dealing 1 failed death saving throw, dropping you on the ground. And he continues to move away. That zigzag's awful. But yeah. Alright, Ithel.
How many? Like 4 attacks and then move.
3 attacks. And you can always move and attack. That's always been a thing.
Do I know this is happening?
You hear some sort of punching, and a loud, sickening thud as Jun's head is smashed, or says someone's head is mashed into a wall.
If that's the case, then I would dash. Right around there.
Okay. If you can see Jun, and you can see that he's currently laying on the ground bleeding from his head profusely.
Is Spare the Dying a touch spell?
Sure is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay. If
Yeah.
I...
Verbal
I
smite
could...
touch.
And hold on a second. I'm looking at Cure Wounds to see if that's distant. Crap.
No. Healing word is distant.
Yep. So I will cast Healing Word.
Okay. Seven hit points back there. Should actually be 9.
Yeah.
Left, I mean. 9 hit points back there, Jun. Alright, Steve. You see that Jun is getting back up after Ithel's healing word. And then?
And then, this guy's too fast.
You're pretty fast.
I'm kind of fast.
Speak the word.
Oh fuck. Is it possible to aim for a specific body part with a ranged weapon, or is this kind of?
I mean, for flavor, you can say that. I mean, it depends on how well you throw.
Because yeah, I want to. I'll light crossbow, aim for the leg, because this guy's clearly really fast and probably aren't going to be able to keep up with him.
Take the shot. He's not wearing any armor.
Does aid still work, even though he went down?
Oh, he didn't help you, did he?
Bonus action 8 on the paladin, yes.
Okay. I would say since he fell down and is currently prone, like, I don't think the help would continue. No. It's not like inspiration. He has to be actively awake or available to do it.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Just want to make sure.
Through and to the point, yeah.
That's a 14.
Okay. So he, you shoot towards his leg. It's in the dim light, so you would have actually had disadvantage on the attack. It misses.
Oh, damn. He's got 114 AC without armor? He's ninja.
He's obviously been doing a flurry of blows and stepping in shadows. I'm trying to be real subtle as to what he might be, but
He's
I
a
monk.
super monk. Super monk.
think you should
He's that
understand.
ninja.
Alright, Asinos, it sounds like there's a fight.
Oh boy, here I am.
You dash on over to Ithel. Okay. Alright, it goes to him. Cunning action dash, action dash. You hear lots of fast running. He's beating Zayfeet. Okay. Cypress. Stuff's happening.
Yeah, once I see everybody moving out, I'm
Yep,
gonna
again.
take the... I'm sorry?
Skipped again.
I'm gonna take the dash action towards around this corner.
Okay.
That was 45 to 15. Cool.
Alright. Morris, on initiative 1, not really being a part of this, will kind of just dash up to Ithel and says, "Is this our mission? Are we hunting this guy? Or, is this our mission? Are we hunting this guy?"
If
Hold
he
on,
sort of
John.
shrugs and
Time out.
says,
Oh.
I don't know.
What?
So Paladin shot at 16.
You should have gone. I got
and
the
then
wrong.
Zero ran on
I-
22.
I got the wrong. How does this mixed up?
I can't hear anybody.
The paladin
Yeah,
went.
no one say anything.
Okay, so the paladin went, and I moved Jiro on 22. I don't know how he got tracked into it, and it did that upwards, but I've shifted it. I'm moving him back to where he was. Jun, and you are on the ground prone, apologies. So he will actually run at the end of, or after the end of...
End of the round.
Yeah.
All 3 of us still get to go.
No.
You skipped 11, 10, 7.
No. Stop. Astanos is... See how Astanos is at the top? Like, it keeps on moving the initiative, and I don't know why it's doing it. So what happened was, is everybody went, and I skipped you. Okay? You can take your action. You were just gotten up. But after you're done, everyone else beneath you has already gone. And then Jiro will be going. I moved Jiro back to where he was before he dashed.
Alright. Yeah, I'm stand up. It only takes me 1 and shoot at him.
Alright. Into dim light. Disadvantage. You miss.
9.
He'll actually spend a key point to...
Bonus action, give...
hold on. Sorry. No. You don't get a bonus action, because I'm catching it and throwing it right back into your face. You're taking 11 points of damage.
Down.
Alright. And then I will dash. That was my reaction to do that. Alright. Now, he just went... That's 22. Ithel, you're up.
Ithel holds her action. She doesn't want to fight.
You just saw Jun get knocked down again. He has a crossbow bolt that he just shot sticking out of him.
Ithel will... Could I walk over to Jun and sort of pull him around the corner?
Yeah, and I'll, as a part of that, if you want to cast Spare the Dying, I'll allow it.
I could do that. Yeah, that's a cantrip, right? Yeah.
I'll allow it to be
So
kind of close.
right around here.
Yep. So yeah, Jeremy, move yourself over to her. She's around the corner. And Spare the Dying will stabilize you. Alright, Steve, continue chasing the rogue, or the monk, or whatever, or deal with your group.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna look over my shoulder. It's like Cypress, Asnos, Morris, they all kind of look pretty disengaged at this fight, I'm assuming.
And still wounded from being exploded, yeah. There hasn't been a short rest or anything since.
Alright, I'm gonna kind of collect my composure and realize that this is beyond my skill currently. There's probably more pressing things, like our wounds that probably need more attention. So
Okay.
yeah,
So defer
come
me.
back. And,
Okay.
like, Jun's stabilized, but he's still at 0, right?
Correct.
Alright, I'll give him 5 points of lay on hands to close the wound, get him up.
Okay. Jun, you are back up. Crossbow bolt slowly being pulled out of you as Paladin stands over you, healing you.
I just sit there.
Alright, Cypress, skipping as well.
Yeah, he's gonna come back to the group, and nobody else took damage other than
Yeah, no, Jun's the only one
Jun
that
I
got...
saw.
Yeah, he's the only one that got punishment from that guy, yeah.
I'm gonna give him an additional cure wounds.
Okay. Astanos, you chasing after this guy, or you staying back?
5 points.
Stay put.
That'll be the end of the initiative count. By that point, Jiro's going to just double dash again, or triple dash again, so... Triple move, rather, again, so... He long gone. Alright, that's 2 solid failures this session.
Yeah.
I
Bad.
can't win them all.
Alright. Just let me know what you're doing. Got about 10 minutes to get it done. Are we... Morris looks at you guys and says, are we chasing that guy, or are we going after the person who's wounded?
The person who's wounded is who?
The assassin. Assassin.
Ian?
Yeah.
If that's what we're calling him, sure.
Shapeshifter.
Oh, we're certainly not chasing that guy. It would seem.
Let's get a move on.
Yeah, let's.
And I'll start walking back to the north.
As we're kind of leaving, I wanted to ask John, I'm like, if he was such a bad guy, why did you let him out of the cage in the first place? Like, I don't understand. You took him out, and then you said to put him back in, and now he's gone.
Because at the time, it sounded like he was just going to be traveling with us in manacles. He was under your care, remember?
Yeah, but he apparently has the skill to just slip out of bindings. It seems very...
Surprised to me, too.
Oh. Well, this is... We're probably gonna have to clean that mess up later.
You can kill all 9.
We could kill all 9. All right, you guys head back out of the passageway.
Yep.
And move out into the open air. When you finally make it out of the cave structure, you realize that you're just outside of where you remember the rocking door that was there in the past. Basically, the small tunnel hole is just alongside that. You come out. It's probably about mid-morning. It's lightly raining, but the sky is pretty clear despite the rain. There's just patches of clouds. And you can see that the ridge is just up ahead, easy for you to climb up and make your way to wherever you're heading. Morris states that it looks like your quarry has traveled up the ridge and has headed off into the plains, which you would know is rife with at least a pair of displacer beasts. All right. I think that's a pretty good stopping point. Unless anybody has anything they want to interject before we end it there.
We got crushed.
There was a lot of silly stuff that happened, yeah. Nothing? No additions? Okay, so next session we'll pick up. Morris will be assisting you guys in tracking the doppelganger. Thanks for watching, those that did, and all right, go ahead and close the stream. See you next week.